Hello.
Seth, what was that like to coach in your first NHL game?
I mean, today was just trying to get here and try to keep it as smooth as possible. So, I mean, I really didn't have any time to think about, it's not about my first NHL game. We're just trying to get here and make it as smooth with Donnie being sick right now as possible so that the staff and the players could be in the right mindset and there would be no disruption for them and put us in the best position to try to win the game tonight.
Casey shared with us that you told the group that even though you hadn't been here long, that you thought that they were playing pretty well and they just needed to stick with it. I mean, what was just your impressions, throughout the game as they were generating chances but just trying to break through there?
Yeah, that was after the second, because it's easy sometimes during adversity when you're playing good and you're getting those chances and you're down, to get frustrated, right? That's natural. But I really liked the way we were playing. We had a great first. It was unfortunate we gave one up late. Thought we had an outstanding second. It was unfortunate we came out of it down by one. So my message going to the third was, don't get bored playing the right way, because what they were doing as a group was working. And we were grinding and we were wearing them down. And I thought that if we stayed with it, that we were going to get the results. And obviously, credit to the guys, they did. But I think what might go unnoticed a little bit is I think there was 4 or 5 really big block shots in the third period. Benson, having one of them. I think Skinner had one of them. There's like 4 or 5. Like if they get that third one, it's harder to come back. So real credit to the guys selling out to block those shots to give us the opportunity for the comeback.
Seth, what was the chronology of you finding out that you were coaching this game?
Kevin called me this morning at 8:30 to 9, somewhere in there. We're getting ready for our game at Utica tonight, and he told me that he just wanted to put me on watch at that point. Donnie wasn't feeling good, didn't have all the details at this point, but to be prepared in case they needed me to come. He talked to you guys. His philosophy on it was me coming up allows everything else to be the same. For the players, the assistant coaches, the staff, everything just runs the same. So then I was in Roch. Then I continued to do the work preparing. I think at 10, then Kevin called again and said, we're going to need you. So I finished up with my staff in Roch, helped getting them prepared for our game there tonight. Then drove up here, got here about noon with the Sabres staff. Spent a couple hours with them, with Donnie on FaceTime, talking through the game plan, the strategy, the line matchings, all the I'm so familiar with these guys. Like the one thing is, like, in our organization, the way Kevin runs things and the way Donnie runs things, we talk all the time. I spent an hour on the phone with Kevin just yesterday. I'm on the phone with Donnie, with their staff. I'm texting with these guys. The communication throughout our organization is excellent, and we're always sharing information and trying to help each other. And also, I think it's my responsibility in the American League to mirror almost identically. There might be some differences, the style of play and the systems of Buffalo, because I would hate for one of our players from Rochester to get called up and be unfamiliar. So our systems, most of our verbiage are very, very aligned, right? So that connectivity allows for a smoother transition.
On top of that, you've also coached plenty of guys in this room, and others through camp. How much do you draw on that when on short notice inserting yourself into this?
Yeah, there's probably a third or more of this team that's went through Rochester in my time. So obviously, I've had some great memories and great relationships. I coached Sammy back when he was 16, 17 years old. And then now I've been with the organization for a number of years. So I've been at, 4 different training camps, and credit to Donnie, he incorporates our staff a lot during training camp and during rookie camp and things of that nature and development camp. And so the guys have a familiarity level with myself and our staff in Rochester, and that makes for situations like this to be quite a bit easier.
Coach, talk about mirroring. Talk about the defensive strategy tonight compared
to the last time you played Columbus?
Well, I wasn't, here last time, and obviously, I know the score, and I watch all the games if we're not playing, and we got a great group in that room. That room is a tight group that cares, that has a lot of pride, and is fighting to become a really good hockey team. And there's a lot of pride. They know the score from last time, and I think the defensive effort tonight, as I talked about before with the block shots, the defensive effort right off the hop was strong. The forwards were reloading very hard tonight, getting over the top of them. I thought our defensive gaps were strong, and then willingness to do the dirty things like winning puck battles and blocking shots, and that limits a really skilled offensive team's chances. And when we made mistakes, I thought Upi was outstanding tonight, which was great to see. Good.
You know Ukko-Pekka as well as anyone. Just that was his best game in weeks. Just what vibe was he giving? What did you notice from him tonight that made him effective?
I thought he looked on it from the start. They had two real good chances in the first 5 or 6 minutes. It's funny. I think the team that played last night sometimes has an edge early, and then if you can withstand that, you can kind of flip that on them because of your freshness and the fact that they were maybe a little tired. So Upi made a few big saves early. He looked sharp. He looked aggressive. There's just such a presence and a command about him when he's on his game. And, as we all know, he was in a great spot a couple weeks ago before he got sick. And he'll get that back. He just works too hard. He's too good of a teammate. He puts too much time into it not to get that game back on form. And tonight was a great start with that. And the save, he made or in overtime, I don't know if he saved it or he forced the shot over, but that was huge. You give up. There's chances in overtime. It's 3-on-3, and he delivered in a big way.
You were the better team for most of that hockey game. How do you keep? It's late. You're down a goal. How do you keep frustration from setting in? Them knowing they're the better team, but yet they're down by a goal.
Well, first of all, I think it started. There was a hair of it, and what really flipped it on the bench in the second was the penalty kill. I thought that penalty kill mid-late second period, whenever that was just full of life and energy, and it was smothering in feel. Didn't give up many chances, had pressure on the puck, and that the guys, the bench drew a lot of life from that. So I thought that was a big turning point in the game for us. And then, as I said earlier, Mitzi referenced it. That was my full message in between the second and third. Was that I haven't been in the locker room. I haven't been on the bench with them and feeling them. But how good I felt about the energy, the play, the vibe of the group, and that if we stayed the course. Like I said earlier, don't get bored playing the right way. It's working. Just because we only have one goal doesn't mean it's not working. It's working. Stay with it, and eventually we'll find a way through. And obviously that was a heck of a shot by Mitzi to get us tied.
It was 4 hours ago that Kevin said he expected you to go to Ottawa. Can you confirm that? Are you going to Ottawa?
I will be going to Ottawa. Yeah, we talked to Donnie post-game. He's doing better, but he's still, pretty much, he's under the weather significantly, but he is feeling a lot better, and I will be going to Ottawa, yeah.
Coach, talk about some of the things that you would do to better the power play. I know in Rochester it's 22%. Here it's like 13%. Buffalo.
I have all the faith in the world in Matt Ellis and the coaching staff here, and they're working hard every day on it. That's, certainly, I don't have enough time here to have any opinion on that, but I know that I know the pride and the effort that Matt puts into his work, and I know he had this group humming in a big way for most of last season, and I know they will again.
What's the confidence level for you and guys like Jack and JJ and Dylan, knowing them from before in Roch, but then seeing them play the way they did throughout the game tonight?
Yeah, there is a comfort level with guys you've coached before, and obviously JJ and Jack, and amongst others, were big parts of a lot of success that we've had in Rochester, both in the regular season and the playoffs. And so, Jack texted me today, and I think it was, he said, you count on the fact that 22 won't be sleepwalking tonight, as that was a little famous banter he and I had with a little bit of a shouting match at each other on the bench one time in Rochester. So, when you coach players as young as they were when I had them, Sammy, even back to the NCDP, Krebsy and Quinter and JJ, you just go through a lot together. Yeah, you really do. You go through a lot of adversity. They're away from home sometimes for the first time. You know, they're failing a lot of it for the first time in their pro career or their hockey career. And you go through a lot together. And I think anytime you go through shared adversity together, and you come out on the other side, you know, there's a closeness and a bond that you have that stays there.
What was your pregame speech like? We heard what it was, but between the second and third period, what did you had time to think about it on the drive, I'm guessing.
You know, so that was basically, we talked to Donnie and the staff, came up with the 4 main key points. So Matt Ellis and Marty delivered most of the tactical things that we need to be aware of when you're playing Columbus. And then I delivered what we collectively decided were the 4 main key points against Columbus. So real simple. It was, you know, that the fact that we wanted to make them defend. They played last night. You know, they're a really good offensive team. So let's make them defend. I think we did a really good job of making them defend tonight. We wanted to give them no easy offense because they're so skilled and their forward group is so talented. So let's not give them easy offense. You know, we wanted to play a fast north-based game. That's something that Donnie's really been on them about the last few weeks, getting back to playing faster like they have in the past, you know. So that was basically the main message, is those three, 4 things: quick, and that was it. I don't believe in big rah-rah speeches. I think as a coach, if you have to rely on that, that means you probably didn't do a good enough job preparing in the first place. So, and I know the staff had they felt great. They had 2 really good practices the last 2 days. So I know the players and the staff felt great going into today's game. Thank you.